Satisfaction. It's a song by Italian DJ Benny Benassi.
And then just touch me till I can get my
sex. No! Seduce me.
And according to the Merriam-Webster dictionary, also means a fulfillment of a want or need. Video games are inherently already a form of satisfying satisfaction, but that's usually due to the elements within a said video game. These tend to be the visuals, audio, mechanics, spamming the metal in the main menu of TF2, and of course, weapon design, which is core to many games out there. Now, what if I told you that the stupid metal pin hat game, Team Fortress 2, has, in my opinion, the most satisfying weapons in gaming? So, let's talk TF2 and its weapons. Today, I just want to gush a little bit about the weapons in this old-ass video game. I've been playing TF2 for a long time, even though my hours might not necessarily reflect that. Team Fortress 2 is actually the reason that I made my Steam account, and I imagine a lot of other people did the same thing when they heard that this game was going free to play. And despite this game's age and all of its problems that it has, the one thing that Valve really nailed about this damn video game is that its weapons feel so damn good to use. Do you want to know a surefire way of how Valve made the mechanics in their game super satisfying? It's when I can induce dopamine in your mind, dear Internet Wanderer, just by showing off some JPEGs and playing some sound effects. When the audio alone is enough to induce satisfaction, that's how you know you have quality on your hands. Here, I'll demonstrate.
Let's do this! Bring it! Denied! Missed me! Unfreaking touchable!
That wasn't supposed to
No,
happen!
seriously, you all suck!
Don't come right with me, you pint-sized mutt!
Also, for some reason, I find the sound of the TF2 meat gibs when they hit the floor to be really funny. For some reason, just it's so stupid. It's like somebody wrapped a basketball with a steak and just started dribbling. I don't know why. I just find it so funny. Keep in mind, this video isn't gonna be me talking about this game's balance or whether or not these weapons are viable, because Gabe knows many of these guns aren't even close to being near the concept of being viable. But then again, that's not the point of this video. Because for all the flaws that TF2's weapons have, they managed to accomplish the one thing, at least in my opinion, that is most important for any video game that has weapons. That being the fun factor and how satisfying they are to use. And brother, let me tell you, these weapons are satisfying as fuck. What the fuck? So, if you'll allow me, Internet Wanderer, I just kind of want to ramble about how much I love these weapons in this dumb video game. There's not going to be a lot of structure in this video. This is just going to be me talking about why I think TF2's weapons are so satisfying. Again, apologies if it seems like I'm going to be talking about things that are very obvious. Many of the topics in this video might, to the more seasoned TF2 players, may seem like a no-brainer. But I don't care. This game is amazing and I'll take any excuse to talk about it. Besides, maybe my semi-casual perspective might be entertaining to some of you. So, let's get straight into it. If I had to categorize the main reasons as to why TF2's weapons are so satisfying, and since my ability to make scripts is non-existent, I've narrowed it down to these three elements. And when you seamlessly combine these elements, that's how you get the recipe for some satisfying weapons. Let's tackle the first one, and that one is... Audio and visual feedback is most obvious. It's when a game goes, "Oi, you hit something, wanker." In TF2, it's the ding noise whenever you land a hit, a big number pops above their head, the kill feed appears on the top right, the often exaggerated ragdolling that the enemy does whenever you kill them, and of course, the top tier voice acting of both the mercenary who got murked and the one doing the Merc King. Is that a phrase? Do the kids say that nowadays? I want to seem cool, you know? You can even take it a step further and have haptic feedback if you're one of those weirdos who play this game on a controller that vibrates.
Oh, look at that! Look at that! Fucking motion controls! Look at this shit! Look at this shit! Oh, I'm doing it! I'm doing it! I'm really doing it! Oh!
Personally, I use this weird one I got from your mom's house. It smells kinda weird. Many games do this. It's the most obvious and apparent way to make any type of feedback satisfying. It's like when you're playing Call of Duty with all those hit markers and the wall of text appears whenever you get a massive kill streak. Before I move on to this next topic, hold on. Breaking news, I'm getting a Discord message from Uncle Dane. He's telling me not to post this video for fear of what I'm about to talk about next. I gotcha, boss, loud and clear. This is a controversial topic within the TF2 community. Random crits. Do I think that they should exist? Well, apparently I have less than 1k hours, so I'm a bit of a noob. Can't really throw my head into the ring now, can I? But regardless, no one will ever say that they aren't satisfying though. Besides, there's legitimate ways to get crits without needing RNG anyway. Crits take the satisfaction that you get from these weapons and ramps it up to 11.
Those rare high moments.
I can't find any recording of this, but if any one of you have ever managed to get a loose cannon, multi-kill, double donk with crits, I'm going to end up hitting the bottom of my table, and trust me, my hands and legs aren't moving. That being said, not all weapons are great. Melee in TF2 has never been perfect, and that's me being generous. I remember playing the game for the first time 12, 13 years ago, and wondering to myself, why do all of the melee weapons have the same hit noises on all the surfaces? Well, most of them. It also feels very floaty. I remember seeing guides and tier lists for melee weapons in Left 4 Dead 2, and I remember people saying that the machete, the katana, and the police baton are the best because they swing the fastest. But whenever I played the game, I purposely never chose the police baton because its hit confirmation is dog shit. It feels like I'm hitting nothing when I swing this thing in the game. Its hit noise isn't very good, and it doesn't dismember enemies. It's just not good. Most Team Fortress 2 melee weapons feel like that, like the police baton. And that's not a surprise because as far as I'm aware, the way TF2's game engine calculates melee is like the player shooting a very short-ranged bullet, and then adds a melee sound on top of that, trying to trick you into thinking you actually physically hit something. But despite all of those drawbacks, TF2 still adds little flares and flourishes where they can. For example, the melee might be subpar. However, when you combine top-tier voice acting with the death lines and death sounds that the characters make, mixed in with the satisfying TF2 kill sounds, with the cherry on top that is TF2 source ragdolls, and let's not forget that some weaponized source engine jank is a nice thing to have as well.
Demo Night TF2.
If you take all these elements together, a subpar melee mechanic can be a lot more fun than it really is. And that neatly brings me on to the next topic. Game mechanics. It dictates the... Hey, wait a minute. Where'd my background go? Hey, get back here. Ah, much better. Anyway, it dictates the overall systems for the weapons within TF2. What I mean by that is things like damage ramp up and fall off, splash damage, aim spread, projectile speed, hit detection, weapon types, status effects, etc., etc. The mechanics of the game basically dictate the weapons that can be designed for it. But TF2's mechanics can go further than what's listed on this wiki page. For example, locational damage, which is normally standardized in other FPSs, but not so much in TF2. Unless you're a sniper or an ambi spy, the game doesn't care whether or not you hit the enemy on the pinky toe or center of mass. This is already a departure from what most other FPSs tend to do. However, don't get it twisted, this isn't a limitation. If anything else, because of this mechanic, it can facilitate certain gameplay designs. Case in point, because the game doesn't care where you shoot the enemy as long as you actually hit them, the vast majority of weapons in TF2 are either bullet weapons with an emphasis on burst damage or explosive weapons. Take the humble shotgun. The optimal way to use it is to get close to the enemy to make sure that all of the pellets can connect. This is what TF2 players call a meat shot, which is also a type of picture I sent to your mom last night. Therefore, the best way to use it is not to target the head, but instead the torso.
Yeah.
And this applies to almost any weapon that uses bullets. And it is for that reason why game mechanics and weapon design go hand in hand. Weapon design is a category I'd like to call subjectively objective. What do I mean by that? Some weapons in TF2, to me, are objectively a worse choice compared to their counterparts. But my god, these apparently worse options are way more fun to use in my opinion. And as far as I'm concerned, a weapon is only as good as its fun factor. Yeah, says the fucking negative KDA Dragon's Fury Pyro who can't aim for shit. Many weapons in TF2 are at the top of their tier lists. And many of those top weapons are extremely fun and satisfying. Well, some are, not all. This next section is actually the main reason why I wanted to make this video in the first place. Because this next part is just gonna be me gushing about my favorite 3 weapons in Team Fortress 2. So, of course, there's going to be bias when I'm talking about them, but hey, it's my video, and you're in too deep. You've already given me your watch time, so you know, sucks to suck. Watch it all the way to the end, loser. But before I talk about my top 3 picks, I want to throw in some honorable mentions. There are so many fun weapons in this game, it would be a shame to only talk about 3. So, the first up on the list are all of the Team Fortress 2 sniper rifles. Getting headshots will always be satisfying, no matter the game. But in my opinion, other modern games just kinda do it better. It also doesn't help that headshots don't cause the enemy to ragdoll, or at least not excessively. So the funny factor of the sniper rifle isn't really that high. You still get the satisfaction of knowing that the reason you got that kill was all because of your own skill, allegedly.
I'd see my target, identify the path their head is traveling on, and then practically guess! You can't even see the frame where I cross his head! It's uncivilized, man!
But nevertheless, it's still a very satisfying weapon type to use. You can definitely have some fun with it every now and then.
Yeah, that seems about right.
Of course, there's the aforementioned shotguns. They're all great. Meat shots are great. Running up to an enemy point blank and killing them dead is great. It works best with the scout and his scattergun, which is basically a shotgun, just slightly stronger. The ability to fast track the enemy into the respawn room will never be not fun. Another good one is air blast reflex. I genuinely wish that I was better at this. I've seen so many compilations of people doing insane plays with the reflect mechanic. I just wish I was better, which is crazy to say because I saw this image, which shows how big the radius is for the air blast. Are you sure, game? Because it doesn't feel like it. Then again, I have this crippling sickness. It's called skill issue. Maybe I gotta find a cure for that. Luckily, when I was playing at the dead of night, some servers were relatively empty and I got some practice in. It's only 2 kills, but goddamn, did that feel good. Yes, I completely realized that the 2 clips I'm showing here looks like complete dog shit, especially to the more experienced pyro players. But hey, cut me some slack. I never get any reflect kills, okay? Give me a break. I've also heard that market gardening is fun too. I wouldn't really know though. I can't do that shit. You can accidentally get air blast kills. You can't accidentally market garden somebody, at least for the most part. Soundsmith, what type of crack are you smoking and how do I get some? Anyway, alright, all of that out of the way, my top 3 favorite weapons and the weapons that I find most satisfying in the video game Team Fortress 2. Those 3 weapons are the direct hit rocket launcher, the Dragon's Fury flamethrower, and the stock grenade launcher. None of these things are hit scan, and I'm ass at FPS games. So it really does say a lot that the weapons that I find most enjoyable are the harder type to use, projectile weapons. Now, the more cynical among you in the audience might say that I only use these projectile weapons just because I can spam them down corridors. And to that I say, shut up. I guess. But I don't care, they're just so fun, despite my crippling inadequacy to use them properly. But enough dilly-dallying. Let's get into the first weapon that I want to talk about, and that one is the Direct Hit, the definitive side-grade weapon of Team Fortress 2. And because it's a side grade, its upsides are immense. This thing can one-shot basically half of the roster. Scout be gone? Nah, lazy purple. More like, my aim is fucked and I can't hit shit, but the miraculous moment that I do, I'ma bust a fat nut in my pants. But of course, with immense upsides come immense downsides, and its downsides are very, very apparent. The main drawback of this thing is its non-existent explosion radius. Splash damage goes the way of Half-Life 3 and becomes hypothetical when you equip this weapon. Who would have guessed that the direct hit grenade launcher has to land direct hits? So you better hope to pray that you do, because landing those things, it ain't easy. It is for that reason that many players seem to prefer the consistency of the stock rocket launcher. And for what it's worth, I'm not against using stock either. That thing is just as satisfying to use. But in my eyes, the ability to one-shot things is too big of a strength to give up, even if the likelihood of me actually one-shotting anything is slim at best.
Those rare high moments.
But outside of its gameplay mechanics, I also really just like the aesthetics and feedback of this gun. I feel like this is one aspect about the Direct Hit that doesn't really get talked about a lot. The sound effect that Valve gave this gun. The rockets feel chunky. The gibs when the enemies explode are glorious. Light classes are rendered into the past tense in the event that I actually hit one of them in close range. It's amazing. Trying to land direct hits with a direct hit is kinda like me trying to land jokes. I'm missing a lot more than I'm hitting. The fact that this thing also mini-crits airborne opponents, it's just a cherry on top. For backup weapons, I like to pair the direct hit with a shotgun and a false sense of confidence thinking that I'll actually end up hitting something this time. And you know, the escape plan or disciplinary action for melee. For all my fellow TF2 newbies and semi-newbies out there, don't be intimidated by this thing. Just spam down a choke point and hope for the best, because after all, in the event that you actually hit something, oh boy, let me tell ya. Next weapon. Here we got the Dragon's Fury flamethrower. It's technically one of the latest weapons added to the game back in Jungle Inferno. It's crazy that the most recent weapon to TF2 is 8 years old. It took a lot of tweaking, especially after it came out, but nowadays it's usually considered a mid-tier weapon by most standards. But whenever the stars align for this thing to really pop off, it pops the fuck off, man. This weapon changes the usual spray of fire that the flamethrowers do, and instead you shoot a huge fireball which passes through targets. When enemies are all lined up in a choke point, oh boy, do these motherfuckers melt like butter. Not even against multiple targets, this thing is amazing even on one-on-one combat, because apparently, a weapon that can melt a pocketed heavy is considered mid-tier? Yeah. Nice one on that, TF2 community. What's next? Are you gonna bully a female medic cosplayer? You already did that? Oh. When Uncle Dane did his April Fool's video about Pyro, he was absolutely right about this thing. Prior to me recording for this video, I never really paid... My cat just jumped up on my... What? What do you... Okay, I'm recording. Can you not, please? There's no food here. Go away.
The Dragon's Fury. This baby has it all, man. This is exactly the kind of pyro I like to play. The burst damage, first of all, is just bonkers. It's basically the direct hit with an infinite clip. I mean, once you start thinking of it less like a flamethrower and more like a rocket launcher, I feel like it really clicks.
Where was I? Oh, right. Prior to me recording footage for this video, I never really played Pyro that much. But this single weapon is making me play this class a hell of a lot more. Like I mentioned before, the fireball that this thing produces passes through units, and holy shit is this thing glorious. You can add the Dragon's Fury into, I don't know, the Doom games, and it would fit right in. That's how incredible this thing is. The other flamethrowers never really clicked with me, it's true. I don't get much satisfaction out of just holding WM1 and just killing enemies with Afterburn. This thing truly rewards proper aim, which is bad for me because my aim is terrible, but still, I like the feeling of dopamine when I actually land my shots. And like I mentioned before, I don't know anything about air blasting, and it doesn't help that apparently the air blast mechanic on this thing is bugged, or at least that's what some people are saying. Because whenever I air blast, it takes a substantial amount of time before I can start shooting again. So if that is the case, then I truly hope that in this next update, number one, they fix that air blast bug, and number two, I hope they add strange versions for this weapon. Yes, I'm one of those weirdos who don't like using weapons without strange counters on them. Sue me. I would say that this flamethrower was probably the biggest surprise in this entire video because I barely play Pyro. And according to a lot of people, Pyro is seen as the second worst class just behind the Spy, apparently. Hey, I'm just parroting what I've heard, okay? Don't hate me. But still, this weapon is phenomenal and I cannot wait to use it even more. Alright, let's move on to the last weapon and my all-time favorite in this entire video game. And that one is the stock grenade launcher. Do you remember all those things that I mentioned about not being able to hit shit with a direct hit earlier in the video? Of course you do. You're a smart viewer. You know, that's one of the things that I most admire about you. It's your intelligence. You know, after all, you're subscribed to the Rgonax channel. Yeah, if I can't hit shit with a direct hit, crank that shit up to 10, and you got the stock grenade launcher. In my opinion, this weapon is, without a shadow of a doubt, the most satisfying weapon in any first-person shooter game I have ever played. I remember playing Overwatch 2 when that mess of a game came out, playing the arena mode with some friends, and I landed a cross-map grenade shot with Junkrat. And when they were so surprised as to how I was able to do this unbelievable feat of MLG gaming, I said that I main Demoman in TF2, but that was a lie. Ignore whatever the fuck I am showing on screen. Well, actually, not completely. Listen man, whatever footage I'm showing here on screen, I got really lucky this game. For some reason, I just had a godly run with the grenade launcher on bread space. I don't know why. Like, my grenades were just on point for this one singular round. I don't know why. So I'm just gonna play this footage at 2x speed because, damn, I was just in the zone, I guess. That being said, most of the time, I can't hit shit with this thing. I'm a fraud, a fake, a charlatan. I'm no grenade landing master. I just get lucky, that's it. And I just pretend like I know what I'm doing and hope for the best. That's like the slogan for my entire YouTube channel. Sometimes I rewatch Lazy Purple's video about Demoman, specifically the grenade launcher section, just to psych myself up, thinking to myself that by watching this it's gonna make me better.
If death stares me in the face, if my targets are launched, there's only one thing to rely on then.
Guess what? It doesn't work! I still miss! Why am I not landing these pipe? Back on topic. It is not easy landing direct hits with a grenade launcher. The grenades are affected by gravity, they tumble in the air, so there's an element of randomness to them. The grenades don't explode when they contact the ground. When they hit the ground, they tumble for a little bit and then they explode. So trying to use this thing like it's a grenade launcher from Call of Duty just won't work. When I started playing TF2, all those years ago, that's how I thought the grenades were supposed to work, like in Call of Duty, because I was a weird kid who played Call of Duty 4 with cheats on, and guess what? I would spam the M4 grenade launcher like a fucking machine gun, and I hoped that the Demoman's grenade launcher worked the same way. It didn't. So this thing, very hard to land hits. But when you do, oh boy, 100 damage even, clean. 2 clean shots with this thing, you'll delete 8 of the 9 classes. What is not to love, honestly? And also, as far as the aesthetics of this thing, I really think that the sound that the stock grenade launcher, sure, it might be kinda basic considering it's a stock weapon, but in my opinion, it is easily one of the most satisfying in the game. The thunk that the pipes make whenever they eject from the barrel and whenever they hit, it's so understated, but it's just so smooth. Just listen to the thump, thump, thump. It's ASMR material. Now, I know a lot of people might say that the loose cannon is superior whenever it comes to the sheer enjoyment factor. And in isolation, they're probably right. The loose cannon is a mid-tier side grade for the grenade launcher. However, as you might have noticed, I suffer from the aforementioned disease skill issue, and I still prefer using the stock grenade launcher. Maybe if I got a better grasp of the charge time mechanic, and maybe if my aim was a little better, and maybe I would use it more, and maybe I would like it more, and maybe... My fascination with the grenade launcher has gotten to the point where I completely neglect using sticky bombs altogether. I know, right? Ignoring probably the single most OP weapon in the game, the sticky bomb launcher, but in my opinion, it just doesn't have the wow factor of the grenade launcher. And last time I checked, the sticky bomb launcher is a secondary weapon. Can you imagine being a secondary slot main? Ooh, look at me, I'm a sniper player and I only use the SMG or piss. Ooh, look at me, I'm the soldier and all I do is camp in this corner sucking on this trumpet all day long. Ooh, look at me, I'm the medic and I don't use anything other than my mediguns. Ugh, so suboptimal. Battle medics all the way. I'm running out of ways to really just convey how much I enjoy the grenade launcher. I know that there's a lot of people who very much love using this thing. It is very hard to use. Absolutely true. I know some people might tell me that I should use the iron bomber because it's more consistent than the grenade launcher, and in that aspect, you're probably right, but at the same time, I just kinda enjoy the stock grenade launcher a bit more. I find its sound effects, its animations, and its overall design to be far more aesthetically pleasing. And as well, the iron bomber is so close to stock that like, it's basically the same weapon, so you can use one or the other. It doesn't really affect anything all that much, if I'm being completely honest. So yes, in my somewhat limited experience with FPS games, I'm standing up on my soapbox to preach out that the grenade launcher from the video game Team Fortress 2 is my favorite first-person shooter weapon of all time. Fun fact, this video was only supposed to be 8 to 10 minutes long. Let me check the runtime here. Yeah, we have clearly surpassed that, so I'll keep this ending brief. With the new update coming to TF2 and the Man vs. Machine update, I truly hope that this also means new changes and new things for us TF2 players to enjoy. So I'll end this video by asking this. What are your favorite TF2 weapons? Do you agree with any of the picks that I have in this video? Comment them down below. That's going to be it for me, Internet Wanderer. Thanks for watching. Do the YouTube things.